Hi, I'm Eric Siegel with ericstrains.com, and recently I've had a lot of people asking me how I make my tunnels, my mountains, and my rocks. And so in this first video, I'm going to be showing you how I make my tunnels. Now, because YouTube limits videos to 10 minutes apiece, I've had to split this video into 8 parts. So make sure you watch all 8 parts in the proper order. Before we get going, there are a couple bases that I want to cover. First, as you watch this video, keep in mind that there are literally thousands of ways to do scenery, and the methods that I'm using are by no means the only way to do it. Everybody has their own opinion when it comes to scenery, and in the end, you need to choose a method that you're comfortable with and that you think looks good on your layout. My recommendation would be to do as much research as possible on different scenery methods before you settle on a mode of operation for your layout. Secondly, I wanted to point out that I did not invent most of the techniques you're going to see in this video, and I'm in no way trying to take credit for inventing them. Like most people, I learned my methods from watching other people, reading various articles, and watching assorted videos on scenery. So the techniques you're going to see today are really a combination of techniques that I've learned from other sources. So now that we've got all that disclaimer stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Here we are on the other side of the layout from the completed tunnel scene that you just saw, and this side is also ready for some tunnels now. So for this tutorial, what I'm going to do is just walk you through what I do on my own layout to make a tunnel and then make some scenery around the tunnel. So what we're going to do is create a double track tunnel that starts about right here and then wraps all the way around the bend there. And the technique for making a double track tunnel is exactly the same as making a single track tunnel. It's just a little bit wider. So once you know how to do this, you can do any kind of tunnel you want. The supply list for this project is quite long, and I'm going to start with the 2 biggest components on that list. The 4 bottles in front of you represent the 2 most important ingredients in this project. The 2 bottles on the left are A and B components of what many people call geodesic foam or polyurethane foam, and by mixing equal portions of parts A and B, you get a liquid that expands rapidly and turns into a very sturdy yet light foam that sets up in about 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to use this foam to make the hard shell that'll be the foundation for all the scenery we do today. The foam is also a component in the rock molds that we'll be making later as well. The 2 bottles on the right are A and B components of a plastic casting resin. By mixing equal portions of part A and B, you get a liquid that solidifies into a hard white plastic in about 10 to 15 minutes. The plastic resin is going to be used along with the foam to create the rock molds that will line our tunnels and accent our hillsides. Both of these products are available from a company called Alumilite, and you can get to their website at www.alumilite.com, and I order this stuff off of their website. If you go to the website, the foam is called 610 foam, and the plastic resin is called Alumilite white casting resin. Some of the smaller items you'll need for this project are a tub of petroleum jelly. You can get this at most drugstores. Some cheap paint brushes. I get these at Home Depot. They cost 79 cents a piece. I usually buy them by the dozen. You'll probably want a few of these. Some scissors, tweezers, an X-Acto knife, and a ruler. You'll want some inexpensive black acrylic paint. You'll want some disposable plastic cups. You'll want to buy this product called Black Shadow. What it is powdered black tempera paint, and it's sold under the name Black Shadow by Bragdon Enterprises. You can get to Bragdon by going to www.bragdon.com. But if you don't want to buy it at Bragdon, it's basically just powdered black tempera paint. You can get that at most art supply stores. You'll want some mineral spirits. I like the odorless kind because they don't stink quite as bad. You'll want some wax paper. You can get that at most grocery stores. And then back here, you'll want some disposable nitrile gloves. These come in a pack of 100, and I got them at Home Depot for about $15. Another important ingredient in today's project is this fiberglass window screen material. It comes in rolls like you see here. This one is 36 inches wide, and I got it at Home Depot. It costs about $25 for a roll, and one roll will last you for quite a while. Some other items you'll need are artist gesso. You can get this at art supply stores. Masking tape, a hot glue gun and hot glue sticks, and some cardboard strips. You can make your own cardboard strips, or you can buy them at www.micromark.com. They come in a pack of 90 for about $6 or $7. To make the rocks for our project today, we're going to need some latex rock molds. I bought these latex rock molds at Bragdon Enterprises. The numbers on these rock molds are the number 4, 15, and 45. So if you go to the website, look for those numbers. Bragdon makes over 100 different rock molds, and you're certainly free to use whatever rock molds you want. But I think these are a good starting point because the 4, the 15, and the 45 are fairly generic looking. They're not very exciting, which makes them perfect for the interiors of tunnels and for just general rock scenery. Okay, now that we've gone through the list of all the supplies that you'll need for this project, I'm going to start by showing you how to make hard shell. Hard shell is made using that 2-part polyurethane foam that you saw in the list of supplies, and you couple that foam with this fiberglass window screen. The foam itself hardens into a rigid, strong foam, but that in and of itself isn't good enough to make hard shell. What you need is something to give it rigidity and form, and that's what the window screen does. We put the foam mixture over the window screen, and the window screen becomes integrated into the foam, and then that allows us to bend and shape the piece of foam however we want, and then it hardens into that shape. And so that's what we're going to do now. I've got this scrap piece of window screen here, and I'm going to use this to make a demo piece of hard shell so that you can see what I'm talking about. I've got everything ready to go to make the hard shell. Underneath everything, I've got wax paper held down by masking tape. That'll keep it from moving around. Here's the A and B components of the polyurethane foam. Got a couple cups to mix it up in, and a popsicle stick to mix it up with. I've got pieces of cardboard over here to spread the mixture over the window screen. And then before you start, make sure you've got gloves on your hands, and also make sure you're wearing an old t-shirt, because if this foam mixture or the plastic resin mixture that we're going to use later gets on your clothes, it will not come out. So make sure you're not wearing your favorite t-shirt for this. Alright, I've measured out equal amounts of the A and B components of the polyurethane foam, and you don't need a lot of this stuff. A little bit goes a long way, and for a demo piece of window screen like this, which measures about 4 by 7, I've poured out about a tablespoon of each part. And so when we mix it together, it'll be about 2 tablespoons. So what we're going to do now, with our gloves on, is mix the 2 parts together, like that. You'll notice I've only got 1 glove on. That's because I've been doing this long enough where I know how to save gloves where needed, and I can do this with 1 glove, but you may want to start with 2. We're going to mix this together until it's the color of sort of like a coffee with cream color. Kind of like that. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. And once you've got it like that, it's ready to pour. Don't let this sit because the chemicals have already started to interact and it will harden up in just a few minutes. So we're just going to gently pour this over the window screen like that. And now with this cardboard strip, I'm just going to smooth out the mixture covering the entire window screen. And let it run over. That's okay. We'll take care of the runoff in just a little bit. And you don't want to go too heavily because this stuff will expand quite a bit. But just give it a nice even coating. Like that. So now we're done. We're just going to wait about 10 minutes and then this stuff will be dry enough for us to handle.